Look, I am the type of person who, if you asked me to list the 10 worst decisions of my life, at least 3 would involve a rideshare app and my blind faith in the probability that this time it will work out.
Okay.
They say the chance of being struck by lightning is 1 in a million, right? Well, my success rate for finding a rideshare car that gets me from point K, a Tubi, without first making me question every single choice I've ever made, is about 1 in 10. And guess what? The fault, invariably, is mine. I insist. I persist. I genuinely believe it will be different. Spoiler, it never is. My life is a succession of attempts at optimism that always end up in the same ditch of comedic despair. And my latest Lyft saga is the definitive proof, a story that I swear almost made me give up on humanity. It was a Tuesday, the most nondescript day of the week, and I had an appointment that, for once, I was genuinely about to miss. The urgency was knocking at the door, or rather, beeping urgently in my pocket. I opened the app, that golden flame icon blinking with the promise of a quick and, more importantly, functional trip. I saw the car, an old beat-up Chevy Cavalier. My internal alarm system went off. A Chevy Cavalier. I've seen this movie, and it doesn't end well. The driver's photo? The photo. An older gentleman who looked like he stepped straight out of a corny postcard, with a smile so wide it seemed forced, almost a passive-aggressive threat. I should have been suspicious. The name? Earl. A name that shouts stories to tell, whether you want to hear them or not. But urgency trumped intuition, and I accepted. Because, of course, I am an incorrigible optimist when it comes to transportation logistics. Or maybe just an idiot who never learns. Earl arrived. The Cavalier was, in reality, a faded gray, covered in battle scars that told a history of 1,000 poor parking jobs. And when the windows slowly groaned down, the air conditioning, if it ever existed, released a hot puff of air, smelling intensely of stale pine air freshener and Prussianly old cigarette smoke. Earl, the gentleman from the photo, was even more Earl in person. Thinning hair, glasses perched on the tip of his nose, and yes, that smile. That smile looked like it had been glued to his face with super glue, and the only thing I could think was, he is planning something. No one is that happy on a Tuesday afternoon driving a junker. Stepping into that car was like entering a time machine to a past I didn't even know existed. A past smelling of smoke, questionable upholstery, and secrets. I got into the back seat, fumbling for the seatbelt with the desperate hope that it wasn't just a decorative prop. Earl turned to me, and the smile expanded, revealing teeth that had definitely seen better days. "Howdy, partner. All good with the rush?" he asked, with a voice that sounded like it was dubbed by an overly optimistic cartoon character. I responded with an ambiguous grunt, trying to be polite while mentally preparing my spirit for what was to come. The Cavalier sputtered, coughed violently, and finally started to move. But not before emitting a grinding noise from the transmission that sounded like the gears were protesting, dragged along by a jackhammer. The car shook, the suspension pleaded for mercy, and I could already smell the adventure. Or the disaster. Both things always seem to walk hand in hand in my life. The trip began with Earl immediately launching into a deep conversation about life, the universe, and everything. He had complex theories about why people are always running late in society, imposing a rhythm on us that isn't our own. I tried to keep up with strategic nods and hums while nervously observing the rearview mirror. Not the traffic, but the mirror itself, which was held together with duct tape and swung wildly with every jolt. It was an omen. I knew it. But I, in my infinite stupidity, ignored it. The tension ratcheted up a notch when we drove over a pothole that resembled a lunar crater on a busy Los Angeles street. One of the Cavalier's rear tires let out a sharp hiss, like a pressure cooker about to explode. Earl didn't even flinch. Ah, the suspension. This old gal's traveled the world, my friend. She's known every road, every bump. She's a war veteran. My forehead started sweating cold. A war veteran about to be honorably discharged right here on the pavement, I thought. At every turn, the Cavalier leaned dangerously, and I could feel the right rear tire scraping, producing a sound that resembled a perpetually out-of-tune jazz band playing inside the trunk. Earl, oblivious to the mechanical drama unfolding beneath us, continued his philosophical explanation of global geopolitics and the importance of maintaining a positive attitude. I, on the other hand, was merely trying to maintain an attitude of not dying in the middle of the street. And then, the big moment. The climax of the saga. We were almost at my destination, about 3 blocks away, when, with a boom that made the car jump, followed by a clatter of something breaking loose and rolling away, the Cavalier simply died. And it stopped with a flat tire, smoke worthy of a horror movie pouring out from under the hood. And, to top it off, the rearview mirror, which was barely hanging on, finally plummeted and landed right in my lap. It was synchronized chaos. I looked at the rearview mirror in my hand, at the smoke, at the tire. My mind screamed. I should have taken the bus. I should have walked. I should have been born rich and hired my own driver. However, seemed to have been waiting for this moment his entire life. He looked at me, his smile still intact, and with an unnerving calm, said, "Well, there you have it, son. Life is like that. Full of surprises. But look on the bright side. You're almost there. And now you've got a story to tell." He was right. I had a story. A hilarious, agonizing story of how I nearly missed an important appointment because a war veteran, Cavalier, decided to retire right in the middle of a major street. I got out of the car, still holding the duct-taped rear-view mirror, feeling the heat of the smoking engine and the smell of burning rubber. The smoke billowed as if the car was exhaling its last breath. Earl, with his unshakable optimism, was already out, inspecting the damage with the same curiosity one would use to look at a rare bird. He was trying to call his wife while calmly examining the tire. I, on the other hand, was close to breaking into a hysterical laughter attack, mixed with silent panic. Slowly, a group of people started to form, some filming, others just curious about the spectacle of the car in slow auto combustion. This was definitely going viral on TikTok, and I was going to be the blurry guy running away from a smoky car. In the end, I reached my appointment 10 minutes late, with the smell of smoke clinging to my clothes and a rearview mirror stuffed into my backpack. The excuse that my lift just exploded was met with nervous laughter and a few suspicious glances. But the experience taught me something. Or maybe not. I'll probably continue ordering ride shares and hoping for the best, because I am an incorrigible optimist when it comes to transportation logistics. Or maybe I'm just dumb. But at least, this time, the saga gave me a good story to get a few laughs. And you? What was the most bizarre or hilarious rideshare trip you've ever had? Was it a driver who sang opera? A car that looked like it came out of a post-apocalyptic sci-fi movie? Or maybe one that took you to the wrong city? Tell me here in the comments, because I need to know I'm not the only one with this blessed luck. If you laughed at my misery, you know what to do. Hit the like button on the video. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel of misadventures and existential ramblings yet, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell, because I guarantee the next saga is already on its way. And it will probably involve a bike with a flat tire, because, you know, me and transportation, it's an endless soap opera.